Hey, this is Hardline, Destructoid's video game podcast. My name is Jordan DeVore. That is Steven Hansen rocking that scarf.
Hello.
Giants fan Steven Hansen. Uh, I see, yeah. And we also have Bill Zoker on today.
Yo, what's up? Steven, my aunt's gonna want that scarf back.
My aunt gave me this scarf
Oh my
yesterday.
god.
Was it from her personal collection?
Well, it's from Italy, but it's also a man's scarf, so
Is it though?
yeah.
I say, I.
Europeans are hip and cool looking, alright?
Listen. Nice scarf.
Like,
I'm a fan of it. I'm also a fan of video games sometimes.
I like gaming.
But not it's like this is the time of month where news is really dry, so everyone's kind of just like buckling down and playing. We're just playing the games that already came out.
Yeah, pretty much
So it's
everything's
like,
out now. Like I was looking at the release schedule for the rest of the year, planning Let's Play shit, and it's like, oh, nothing else is coming out forever. Cool.
yeah, I Captain Toad, that might be the only game I can think of that has that's coming out before the end of the year. Which is I want to play that, but it's
Captain Toad, more like Fap and Chode.
so
well,
there
I mean,
was
luckily they've changed it where now February, March is also insane and full of video games. So it's not like we have to wait long.
Yeah. It's because
I
companies are getting hip, and like we don't have to do this for Christmas.
I wonder if that's going to be a thing that happens, or if it's just like this year, a one-off thing. Because it's like that's happening because so many delays. But I wonder if they'll do that in
It's been
2016.
it's been happening for a while now. The last
Yeah, it's true
two,
that there were
3
delays,
years.
but it's been trending towards that where people aren't adhering to the Christmas
I mean,
schedule as much.
when did the first Final Fantasy 13 come out? Because that was like March, and I think it came out with God of War and like Red Dead, or I don't know. There's been 3 big games in that March. Like it's been going on for a while.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't really play those things, so so PlayStation. This I was going to bring this up because it's a way to talk about old games. Hooray! That's what I like doing. So PlayStation turned 20. My God, 20 years.
God damn it.
And so like the news of this is that Sony's making some limited edition PlayStation 4s that look kind of like a PlayStation 1
Yeah.
in terms of color and texture, I guess.
I don't know how I feel about that because it's cool, it's nostalgic, and it's different, but like the original PlayStation was the ugliest color of gray.
Really, I like it.
It's so ugly.
I I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I don't know. I would not buy one of these, but
I'm a
I'm
fan.
sure people will. I'm sure they'll sell out.
If I could have easily bought it at the equitable price to the other color, well, no, I would get a white one. But if it was just
Me
between
too.
that
Me
one
too.
and a black one, I would get that one.
Well, yeah, it made me think about how ugly the original PlayStation kind of was because it's that hard edge gray fucking robot turd, and then they had the PS1 that was just like a bar of soap.
Yeah, no, I like the PS1 though. It looks like a Gundam or like a mecha anime from the 90s. It's great.
More importantly, the thing I liked about this is that they have it's a is it a theme? You can
Yeah, it's a
it's
theme.
yeah, okay. So you can get a theme that's kind of like sounds and looks sort of like the PlayStation 1 for I think all the systems.
PS4 and Vita and probably PS3, but I'm not sure.
Probably I think PS3 too. So that's cool. That's a thing more people can get into.
I don't know
But
if they
they
all do the startup sound, but the PS4 one does the
yeah.
PS1 startup sound.
Hmm.
And so basically people are using this as a reason to talk about a bunch of good PlayStation 1 games. We did that too. PlayStation Blog had a bunch of famous developers say their favorites. Steven likes Bushido Blade.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked to see the Towerfall developer and the director of Ollie Ollie both name drop Bushido Blade because I mean that game needs to happen again, and not bad and ruined, which I feel like someone would do if they try to make it again because Square Enix is bad. But Bushido Blade is still really good. Like it's kind of cumbersome on the PS1 controller and everything, but like I don't know. That game is pretty awesome.
I've never played it. Is it? What's the like?
It's a fighting game, like a one-on-one fighting game, but it's basically something that I've like always wanted to see much more of. In that, like, you can die in like one hit, or like if you get hit in the leg, like your leg is broken, and your character will be like on one leg with the other one leg dragging behind them, or like you can have your arm broken, and like so you can only do one-handed stances, and like you can change your stances and stuff, and it's just this like very measured, sort of realistic fighting game, and it's fucking awesome.
That reminds me of that terrible fighting game on the 16-bit where you could like decapitate your opponent in one hit. I forget what it's called. I always forget what it's called. There's like a praying mantis in it, and you could dismember your enemies. It's a terrible game.
That sounds real, but I don't know.
It's a terrible game, but I played it when I was a kid. I was like, holy shit, this game's fucking awesome. You can cut this dude's head off, and then I go back to it, you know, a few years ago. I'm like, oh man, this is terrible.
You know, of all the like games I thought were good at the time, but ended up being terrible, it's usually fighting games because I didn't know any better. Like Clay Fighters and.
Speaking of fighting games and the PlayStation, motherfucking Airgites, what's up? Nothing?
I still haven't played it.
Oh man, I mean, it's not a fantastic fighting game because it's fucking, you know, 3D, like off kilter, top down type thing. But I mean, it had the fucking Final Fantasy VII characters in it, which Final Fantasy VII is one of those games that changed my life forever, and this was, you know, right at that time. And god damn, was I into that game. And then they had the RPG mode in the game where if you knew a certain, like, it was really fucking hard. It was kind of like, you know, like a Diablo style RPG, and it was really hard, but there was a way you could cheat it that you could actually play the whole thing, because otherwise it's like you only have so much time with it, and then you die and you have to start all over. That was a weird game.
There's a lot of weird PS1 games, really.
That's what's so good about it, is the just strange ideas that caught on, some of them, not all of them.
Like Medieval, which was not name dropped by any of those developers. Come on,
really?
guys, what are you doing?
You'd think they would have got some Sony guy to be like, yeah, how about that?
I feel like Tim Schafer should have been his jam. I'm sure he likes it, maybe. I don't know Tim Schafer personally. But that game is so good. The writing is great, and the whole concept and aesthetic is great.
I'm starting to remember random, like, really early PS1 flops, like, was it Blasto?
Oh my god, Blasto.
And remember Jersey Devil?
Hey guys, do you want to play Gex, Enter the Gecko?
I like Gex, Enter the Gecko.
I liked Gex. I don't know if I would like Gex.
I liked Tomba when it first came out, and then I went back to it later and was like, meh.
You know, I did, like, a few years back, I went and played the my original disc of the first Crash Bandicoot. That game still holds up perfectly. It's really good. It's really hard. Like, that game kicked my ass. I didn't finish it. I got pretty close, and then eventually I stopped. But it's hard.
Yeah.
My favorite, without a doubt, and some people said this on the comments of the article you wrote, Steven, Symphony of the Night. Like, it just holds up so fucking well. Even the goofy intro. I love it all.
Yeah, that at GDC this year, the Symphony of the Night director did a panel talking about the game and stuff, which I wrote up a big, long thing about on Destructoid.
I know I read it, but I don't really remember. Wasn't there some, like, they weren't trying to make it like Metroid? I can't remember what the...
Yeah, and I mentioned it, and I'm trying to remember what, like, the big takeaways or the cool factoids from it were. Trouble remembering, because that was, like, a year ago. I don't know. There was something about how they something on the, like, the visual level, why everything is, like, taller or longer than other games at the time. And, like, something about why they did sprites and why they did them the way they did, despite the PS1 and the 3D technology. There's some interesting shit there.
Yeah,
I'm glad that Symphony of the Night is like Metroid, because I love that format, but I was never able to get into Metroid. Just something about the way it plays. I never really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest. I'm not the biggest Metroid fan, 2D Metroid fan, but
The Game Boy Advance ones are lovely.
those are the I like those the best. But I like Prime,
But yeah, Symphony of the Night, man. Talk about a fucking rare, perfect game. Like that game. There's not a lot of games I would call 10 out of 10, but that's a fucking 10 out of 10 if there ever was one. Another great PlayStation 1 classic, Legend of Dragoon. What's up? Seriously, guys?
Yeah, I have that game. No, I have Legend of Dragoon, and I downloaded it also. So I have it, the original one that I had, and then I bought it on the Vita and the PlayStation, and I still haven't played it.
Oh, it's so good, and it's a little bit rough to go back to now, but not as bad as like Final Fantasy VII. But it was so fucking innovative at the time. The active combat system is like, I still love doing that. It's still such a good feeling because it's balanced so well.
Well, the other PS1 RPG that I have played some of, but also again, like I still have the original disc somewhere, and then I bought it on the PlayStation Network, and I still haven't played it, is Vagrant Story.
Yeah.
I love what I played of it, and I love it because it's from the guy who made Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy 12, which are like the best Final Fantasy games. So
yeah, that is a weird game. I played a bit of it. I've always meant to go back to it. The one, other than like Final Fantasy and shit, though, the one PlayStation 1 RPG that I played the most was Parasite Eve 2. That game is fantastic. But they have unlocks where you beat the game a certain number of times under certain conditions, and you unlock a bunch of different stuff. So I beat that game like 7 times and got Squall's Gunblade in the game.
they used to do that a lot. Well,
Yeah.
maybe I'm just thinking of Capcom, but the whole like you need to beat this several times to get the really cool thing and then brag about it.
But it was
now it's pre-order DLC.
yeah. Parasite Eve 2 was such a unique game, and I don't want to say it's overlooked because I know a lot of people, there were a lot of fans of it, but like they got that sequel, Third Birthday, which wasn't even a Parasite Eve game.
That's the one where your clothes get ripped, right?
Yeah,
That's like your health.
and it's like Mind Jack.
That's
that
all
game.
I remember about it. Yeah.
But yeah, it was Resident Evil and Final Fantasy mixed in like a perfect blend. And the story is fantastic because it's a sequel to the first game, which was based on a novel. I've always loved the whole like plot to that game, and just the way it plays and just everything about it, the sound design, the graphics, fucking everything.
Also, can we talk about Gundam Battle Assault 2? Am I right, guys?
You can.
Am I right?
It's all you, dog.
No, it's just a really fun 2D sprite fighter with Gundams, which is pretty much what all Gundam games should be. I don't know why they keep making like Gundam Dynasty Warriors, Gundam this shitty thing. Just make sprite fighters. Come on.
It was a terrible fighting game? Dragon Ball Z Ultimate 22. That's a god-awful game, and I played it for 400 hours.
There's a fan-made Dragon Ball Z fighter that is a sprite-based 2D fighter.
Yes.
That looks better than every Dragon Ball game that has ever been released.
Yes, I've played the demo of it, and it's pretty solid. I hope it gets finished and, does well.
But aside from this Nostalgia Fest, there is the PlayStation Experience happening this weekend, right after the Video Game Awards, and there's going to be some new games there for sure. Like, the Video Game Awards are going to have some big reveals and world premieres. Apparently nothing from Microsoft, or nothing coming to Xbox One?
I think it was nothing from Microsoft, but EA is going to have something. I think the next, is it King's Quest? I think that's going to be shown. Nintendo, I don't know if Nintendo has anything, but
I mean, Sony is, I'm sure there's going to be some stuff from them maybe on the VGAs, but then also they're going to have some, maybe it'll be revealed at the VGAs and they'll show more at the PlayStation Experience, or maybe they have enough, I mean, they had enough new things that they want to show off right now to warrant making a new event.
it's really weird when they announced PlayStation Experience, I was like, that's cute. Like the diehard fans can go to this and have fun. And it's like, Jesus, there's a ton of this like does warrant existence. There's lots of stuff being shown.
Yeah, I just want more No Man's Sky.
Yeah, right.
That game
Like
is oof.
I went back and watched the trailer again, and it's just like, oh my god.
I want it inside me so deep.
But the thing is, it's kind of a good idea. It's a pretty good idea to just do your own event. Don't worry about waiting to reveal something at some at GDC or sure you want your E3 reveals and whatever, but like when the PS4 launch had its own event because it was obviously like, hey, we're announcing a new console. And they're like, oh, look at all these cool games. But like, it kind of makes sense if you're that big of a company to just be like, yeah, here's this giant fan event, and here's a bunch of cool new shit ahead of everyone, and get stoked for that.
I'm dreading the VGAs because it's always the VGA time of year where I start to get very cautiously excited that maybe they'll announce Fallout 4.
I don't think that's happening this year.
And every year that doesn't happen, I get a little bit closer to a murderous axe rampage.
I really don't think that's happening this year. That would be like mind blowing if it would be like a text.
Just don't even say it, George. Don't even say that they won't.
Sorry, but
because they might.
I want it to. I really
they might. It might happen. God, I hope it happens.
I'm crossing my fingers for Gravity Rush 2 VGA.
It's not gonna happen. It's not. It might.
Prey 2, it's back.
Oh,
we
God.
we rehired the good developers. There's more Johnny Cash songs.
Mega Man Legends 4.
Half-Life 3 confirmed. Oh man.
Yeah, seriously. Oh man.
Capcom
is supposed to be announcing, or was it Capcom or?
Yeah, Capcom's announcing a new project.
It was Capcom, yeah.
They didn't. I don't think they explicitly said new IP, so it might be something an existing property. Square Enix though is creating a new IP, a new Japanese role-playing game. Which is kind of exciting because they don't do that enough anymore.
I must have missed that. When did that happen?
I wrote about it the same day as the Capcom is having a new thing.
Oh, okay.
So they're both going to have a new... But those two things might be so far out that, like, TGS next year, I'm not sure how close to, being public and visible those projects are.
You know what would be great is if Square Enix made an RPG that wasn't a 60-hour music video for a J-pop song.
What would be great is if Square Enix made Bushido Blade 3 and didn't fuck it up.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, and he said, don't fuck it up. It would be like a $19 iPhone game.
Oh, God.
Also, with like free-to-play microtransactions.
They have the worst fucking mobile practices. Like, how do you fuck that up so bad?
I don't know who's playing these games, I guess. It's like I just don't enjoy that experience.
I made a conscious decision to delve into Final Fantasy All the Bravest. And
oh God, why?
Because my intellectual curiosity overruled my common sense. And so, like, you pay $1 to unlock a legacy character, which is an actual, one of the characters from the series. And it's a blind random draw every time.
Oh,
so that's bullshit. And there's like 30 of them or 40 of them.
But spending money is the fun part.
And then on top of that, so you've got the main quest, which is the most mindless fucking battle system ever. And then there's like three areas from different Final Fantasy games that you can buy for like $4 to play in. And so I played through the main fucking thing, and it's super short. And it's like, that's the whole game. Like, I bought characters and it's a fucking 2-hour game. And then I bought Midgar from Final Fantasy VII, and that was like a fifth of the length of the main campaign. So it's like, you can't even play that game long enough to spend all the money on it.
Well, you didn't want them to make any 60-hour games.
Well, it's
true. It's true.
But my whole thing is like, if you're gonna rip people off and bilk this money out of them with all these psychological hooks, have the game be long enough that they have time to spend more money. Like, I only bought like 5 characters in one level because I was done already. If I had kept playing, I might have bought more.
I don't know why you would have, but I will say like the 360 generation. I used to buy DLC, and after that, I like in the last couple years, I'm just like never again, never again, because I think of all the money I spent on these things I used, like I played once, if that, like especially multiplayer DLC. So I just will never do that.
Yeah, I've bought one DLC ever for Gravity Rush, and I don't need any.
I love DLC for the games that I really enjoy, like Fallout or Borderlands. But my problem is it's like the same thing as like television for me. If I have to wait for the next episode to come out, I'm gonna stop playing the game by then. And I'm like I have Saints Row DLC that I've bought and haven't even touched because I was already done with the game when it came out. So I think for me it's like I need to do it where I totally ignore a game until the Game of the Year version comes out, and then I just buy that and play all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've become the same way, I think, which is good. I mean, I've never been one to spend tons of money on like the experience versus a physical thing, so I don't know.
You're a very material girl, Jordan.
I am. I am. Do we want to keep going? I don't know.
Binding of Isaac is awesome. Go play it.
Ball physics, though.
Oh. Okay, we have to end on. I completely forgot. I feel mad at myself for forgetting. So there's this Kickstarter game called Ashen Rift, and it looks like many people worked on it. It's a 3D game. It's sort of like post-apocalyptic. You have a dog companion. It looks really cool. But so here's the thing. Maybe I should let Steven say it because I'm too excited. Steven wrote about it on Destructoid, so.
Yeah, so the developer put up a gallery of screenshots and GIFs of the game. And one of the things that he highlights using the developer tools is for the dog, there are realistic ball physics, testicle physics. So he had the dog and he was like... The model was like, standing stiff, and he was shaking it, and the balls are just like bouncing up and down, and shaking that out, and kind of bouncing.
It's like a snow globe.
It's got realistic testicle physics.
It's a snow globe with the dog scrote.
And I think it's good though. I would like to see more equal opportunity sex organ bouncing in games. Like the last year we've had so many tech demos talking about like, oh, realistic draping cloth. Look at these cloth physics. How come I can't see some dick bulge?
I was just gonna say the bulge.
How come Dante's Inferno is the only game with Satan dong?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Imagine if he was wearing pants though, what that would look like. Because then
the way fucking video games look, it'd probably look like a fucking eel in a shopping bag.
But it's nice. I was rewatching True Detective last week or something. I don't know when. And like, as much as I love that show to death, it has like gratuitous boobs, like way more boobs than it needs. And I'm just like, all right, look, if you're gonna have all these boobs, like, hang some dick. Like, come on. Like, let me see what
McConaughey's packing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, make the male actors get their shit out.
Make them sword fight.
Like, The Wire had dick. You can.
Oh yeah, it did.
Do some dick stuff.
The Wire
like,
totally had
Viggo
dick.
Mortensen's dick in Eastern Promises. That scene was so good.
That's a really good scene.
Holy shit, man.
Oh. And it's because of the dick. The dick elevated it to the.
Yeah,
honestly
exactly. Because they're not like. Because it's raw,
Yeah,
it had a reason. It wasn't gratuitous dick. It was meaningful dick.
As much as I never really want to see a dick, in like a TV show or a movie where like whenever you see a dick, it's always it's never sexual. Like it's always just like someone gets shot in the bathroom and you just see their bushy little dick nub, and it's like as gross as that is, it feels really nice to be like, yes, this is real. This is
it grounds
the real world.
Yeah, you're not
the bushy dick grounds it.
You're not shying away. You're don't let the audience look away. You're showing things how they are. Little hairy pube chub dicks and
that's life, man. That's life.
Yeah. That's how it is.
That's
man.
real.
That's
it's
how
raw.
the world is. So I want to see more you know, jiggling balls, whatever, dicks, whatever. I want to see more male genitals in video games.
Why don't they just put videos of dudes jerking off on HBO? I wouldn't watch it, but it'd be there.
Someone
would.
might.
Apparently,
You're
people watch
thinking of
those. So.
everyone's needs, Bill.
I am.
On that very positive message to content creators the world around, thank you for listening. This has been Hardline. Bill, I think Bill's still doing videos on YouTube.
Sometimes. We also just brought a new Let's Player onto the
Yes.
channel. Jed Whitaker, known as Dimmu Jed on Destructoid. He's a really cool dude with a sexy beard.
Whitaker, I hardly even know her.
Ah!
Ah,
This guy.
That's a goof. Classic
I like goof.
Steven.
Love to do goof.
Goofed us again, Steven. So yeah, that's youtube.com/dtoid. Thank you for listening. We might be back at some point.
Maybe.
If I'm not sick again for 10 days.
Oh, God.
Bye.
Dog.
Dog balls.